Hello, chismosas y chismosos, and welcome back to Bay Area Housewife of True Crime, where I like to tell the stories of the real cucuys and lloronas of the world. I'm Audrey, a former paralegal, current stay-at-home mom, lifelong lover of true crime. The cases I cover are wild. Topics may be triggering. Viewer and listener discretion is strongly advised. The people mentioned are innocent until proven guilty in court. With all that being said, grab your hot Cheetos and let's get started on today's case. Today, I will be doing a little case update on the Horace Cham case. I've previously covered it. There is an episode dedicated to that case. If you want to go ahead and check that out, I recommend you do so. Well, Jim Park was a student at Pasadena City College, and he witnessed the attempted rape of a woman. The perp ended up being Vinson Cham, and is one of the reasons he got caught, arrested, and sentenced to life in prison for being a serial rapist in the late and mid-90s. In December of 2002, 2 years after Vinson was sentenced, Jim Park was now a low-paid pastor at El Monte, California, at a Seventh-day Adventist church. He decided now to come out and try to claim the reward money, the $50,000 reward money that was established by one of the long list of victims' family. The victim and her family were in Chicago, but the victim was attacked on September 6th of 1996 while she was a student at the University of Iowa. Jim Park told the press, and I quote, "I have not been aggressive in searching that out because I feel the important thing was to make sure that person was convicted." Pastor Jim Park said he thought that by now someone would have contacted him if he was eligible for the reward, and added, "But whatever steps need to be taken, the ball is now rolling," unquote. A Chicago private detective named Jerry Brandt said that the claim for the rather uncommonly large reward money had not been claimed prior to getting Pastor Jim's call. Pasadena City College Police Chief Philip Mullendore said that Pastor Jim was, quote, "absolutely key in the case. If not for him, Vinson Cham would probably still be out doing his thing," unquote. Thanks to his arrest, police were able to obtain Vinson's DNA and compared it to the semen left behind at the string of campus rapes that were going on in the Midwest. Pastor Jim Park was not the only one who witnessed the attack at the Pasadena City College Music Building in May of 1997. He and another student heard the screams for help and ran to her rescue. They both saw Vinson burst out of the music building and booking it. In fact, Pastor Jim and his friend ran after the real-life cucuy, but were unable to catch him. Pastor Jim describes what happened next as a quote, and I quote, "God has a way of having his foot soldiers in the right place at the right time," unquote. Because 20 minutes later, as he was walking to his car, he saw Vinson again. Onward Christian soldier Pastor Jim went on incognito as he watched Vinson get into his latest model BMW and wrote down the license plates on his music book. This was also not the only useful book with handwritten notes police seized into evidence. When Vinson was finally arrested, police found his appointment book. You know, back in my day, we didn't have calendar apps. We had to write it all down on a calendar by hand and pencil if you were cautious, and in pen if you were so bold. This physical manner of planning things and writing things down on an appointment book had marked stops in Midwestern colleges as Vinson was on a comedy tour. However, what it all came down to was the fine print in the $50,000 reward posted. As it said in fine print, and I quote, "The family of the victim, in its sole and absolute discretion, reserves the right to deny payment of any money to any person to determine the dollar value, if any, for information provided by any informer based on the value of that information to law enforcement authorities." We reached the end of today's episode of Bay Area Housewife of True Crime. Thank you so much for coming down the little mini rabbit hole where I currently live. Stay tuned for the next episode on the next case. Make sure to follow me on all socials by the same handle. You can find me on Spotify, Apple Podcast, YouTube, and of course here on TikTok. If you like my content, do me a solid and rate my show wherever you listen. As always, I accept and respect your opinions. I welcome all comments, questions, case suggestions, etc. Call me, beat me at yayareahousewife@gmail.com. And yes, that's yay area with the Y, like E40 said. I'll see you chismosas y chismosos in the next. Adios.